This immediately became one of our most popular recipes the day I posted it. It's easy, it's delicious, it's tacos. Let's get started. I have a skillet here that I'm heating over medium heat, and to it I'll add 2 pounds of ground beef. And I'll use a chopper just to chop that up and let it start browning. While that's starting to brown, I'll take an onion. This is a white onion. You can use red or yellow if you'd like. And I'm gonna chop about half of a cup of onion. Then I'll go ahead and add that into the skillet. Then I'll take 1 poblano pepper and I'll chop that also. Poblano peppers are a mild pepper, but they really add just a really nice flavor to Mexican dishes. Once that's diced, you can go ahead and add that in. Then just continue to brown that ground beef and watch for the onions and peppers to cook. The onions should start looking a little bit translucent. Once the ground beef is all brown, you can go ahead and strain off any fat. Then we'll add the other ingredients for the filling. So 1 cup of water, 2 packets of taco seasoning, 1 can or 16 ounces of black beans. Now I've rinsed and drained those. And then a 28-ounce can of Rotel, juice and all. Just put it all in there. Once you get that all in there, just go ahead and mix it up, and it's gonna simmer on medium heat for about 10 minutes. Now as that's simmering for 10 minutes, let's put together the rest of the ingredients. I have a 9x13 baking pan here. I'll just go ahead and spray it with cooking spray. Now we like to use flour tortillas. You can totally use corn tortillas if you prefer those. Either one will work. You'll need about 9. These are 8-inch round tortillas, so if you have a different size tortilla, you might need a few more or a few less, just depending. But after you spray it, go ahead and lay down 2 tortillas. And then if you want to just have one that you tear apart and add to the parts that aren't quite covering the bottom. The other ingredients are refried beans. So this is 1 can of refried beans, and then freshly shredded cheese. Now, if you've ever had a casserole with cheese in it and it ends up really greasy, it's because you might be using pre-shredded cheese. So I recommend buying a block of cheese and grating your own cheese, especially for casseroles, because it helps it not be so greasy. I have 4 cups of freshly shredded cheese. This is a Colby cheddar mix. You can use sharp cheddar if you'd like. You can use Monterey Jack and cheddar, whatever combination of cheese you like, but you'll want about 4 cups of freshly shredded cheese. On top of the flour tortillas, you'll put about half of the refried beans. Now, refried beans are pretty thick, so just dollop on about half of the can and then spread it out as good as you can on the tortillas. Next, you'll put on about half of the beef mixture. Then sprinkle on 1 cup of that freshly shredded cheese. Then we'll repeat the layers. So put on some flour tortillas. And again, I'm going to use one and just kind of fill in the blanks. The remaining refried beans. Then the remaining ground beef mixture. Then 1 more cup of shredded cheese. 1 more layer of tortillas, and then the last of the cheese. I have the oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now this is all cooked, so all you're doing is you're popping it into the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes to heat through and make sure that cheese gets melted. To do that, we recommend covering the casserole. Now here's a trick. You can use foil to cover, but sometimes that cheese sticks to the foil instead of staying on your casserole, and nobody wants that. So take some cooking spray, spray the foil, And then put that sprayed side down over the casserole. Then you can pop that in the oven and bake it. If you want the cheese golden brown on top, just turn the oven to broil for about 2 to 3 minutes, the last 2 to 3 minutes of cooking, and the cheese will start to bubble on top and it'll look amazing. Let the lasagna sit for about 10 minutes before you try to cut it, just like with traditional Italian lasagna, and it will cut a lot better and hold its shape better when you plate it. You can top this lasagna with sour cream, fresh pico de gallo. We like to put a little guacamole on top, and it's ready to serve. Thanks for watching today. You can go ahead over to tasteoflizzy.com to print this recipe. I hope your family loves it.